Hello, this is Jill Slinker, the Director of Student Programs for the Indiana Association of School Principals. And this is the Elementary Science Academic Coaches webinar, Part 1 format. Part 2 will feature the question writer, Patty Mason, speaking about this year's content. The format of the Science Bowl, it is an online contest for students in grades 4 through 6. It consists of 3 rounds: the team round, the experiment round, and the individual round. Rounds may be completed in any order, and you have 30 minutes per round. In the team and experiment rounds, you use your entire team for both of those. In the individual round, you will choose 4 individuals to represent your team and answer questions. The last 2 questions of each round will be used as tiebreakers. Now, the format, essentially, each round is a separate test. They can be taken on the 4 days, that's new, the 4 days set aside to complete the tests. Check the calendar on the Science Bowl webpage for the exact dates that are available. The test can be completed in any order. Now, this should allow more freedom for scheduling. We added 1 more day this year. This should allow more freedom for scheduling and avoid all but the worst weather situations. You can take the tests on any days and at any time on those days that you wish. Some teams may choose to take tests during the school day, while you have computer technicians available to help if there seems to be any problems. Awards will be determined for each of the 5 classes: yellow, red, orange, green, and blue. An explanation of those classes will follow. So here are enrollment classes. Now, if you have more than 1 team from your school, make sure that you've notified the IASP office. You'll also need to pay an extra entry fee for each additional team. If your school has multiple Spell Bowl or Math Bowl teams, you need to communicate with the IASP office about those as well. But you need to figure out which class the Science Bowl team should be enrolled in. And check the confirmation list to make sure your team is in the correct class, especially if the way your Science Bowl team is configured is not the same as how your Spell Bowl team was configured or your Math Bowl team. So blue class, teams that include 6th graders with 187 eligible students and up. Green class is teams that include 6th graders with 186 eligible students and down. Orange class, teams that do not include 6th graders, 163 eligible students and up. And red class, teams that do not include 6th graders, 162 eligible students and down. And yellow class, teams that only include 4th graders, regardless of the size of the school. So 3 rounds: experiment, team, and individual, 30 minutes per round. Team and experiment rounds include the entire team. The individual round, just the 4 individuals that you have chosen, and the rounds may be taken in any order. So let's talk about a few things, a few rules in association with the test. Consultation during testing. Now, any number of students are involved and in the room during the team and the experiment rounds. Consultation between the team members for the team and the experiment rounds is encouraged. This is all about teamwork. You should be able to talk to one another and make decisions. The individual round is only for those 4 students. They're going to test individually. They may not consult each other or any other student or coach. Now, in the team and experiment rounds, how you choose to enter your answer, that's up to you. And the individual rounds, those students should be on individual computers. The individual round is the one that includes the reading article. Now, students will only receive and read the article immediately before they begin the 30-minute testing period. The experiment round, we suggest that you conduct your experiment before the testing dates. Your students need to take notes as it is being conducted, and then they are allowed to use their experiment notes during the testing round. Now, after surveying the coaches for this year, it was an overwhelming response. I think 86%, 85 or 86% of the coaches wanted to change the scoring system. And so we are implementing the new scoring system for this year's competition. The team round questions will each be worth 3 points. There will be 15 questions. We've added 5 questions for a maximum of total of 45 points. The experiment round questions will each be worth 4 points, 10 questions, for a maximum of 40 points. And the individual round scores for all 4 students will be averaged, and the average number of individual round questions are worth 1 point each. So you'll have 15 questions, maximum of 15 points. This change puts more emphasis on the team and experiment rounds in order to support our mission for teamwork here and cooperation among students. Breaking ties, we have not changed the tiebreaker process. In the event there's a tie score at the end, first tiebreaker is the number of correct tiebreaker questions in the team round, and that's a maximum of 2. If the tiebreaker remains after utilizing the first tiebreaker method, the second tiebreaker will be the number of correct tiebreaker questions in the experiment round, maximum number 2. And the third tiebreaker, in case it's not broken in the first 2, is the number of correct tiebreaker questions in the individual round, and the maximum score will be 8. So that would be 2 tiebreaker questions per student in the individual round. And if we're not broken after all of that, the tie will stand, and a perfect score would be 100 to 8. So here is the new scoring chart. You can see how that works. It's pretty simple. You just add the 3 rounds together and you get our total and write down what the 3 tiebreakers are. We encourage you to use all of the resources that we have provided on the web page. The web address is at the top of this. It's www.iasp.org/students/science-bowl. It's a pretty dynamic new website, so we encourage you to use it. We'll talk about the honor code. Notes, study aids, books, other materials are not permitted in the competition room. Using the computer to look up answers is not permitted during the competition. Consultation between students is not permitted during the individual round, but it is encouraged during the other 2 rounds. Coaches are not permitted to discuss the content of the competition, but they may assist with technical issues involving the testing site. Coaches may follow procedures similar to ISEP testing rules when helping administer competition tests. It is acceptable to have a technology expert in the testing room. Any other observers may be allowed at the discretion of each coach, but must follow the same honor code procedures as the students and the coaches. The content of the competition questions should not be discussed with anyone outside your own team until after the competition testing window has ended. And printing, saving, or taking notes on the content of the competition questions is not permitted during the contest. Calculator memory should be cleared prior to the beginning of the competition. A couple of additional tips for you. Teach your students to take their time and double check their answers. You must have 4 individuals participate in the individual round. Practice questions and experiment information will be posted on the Science Bowl webpage. Emails regarding the contest will be sent from Diane Abel, or they may also be sent from me, jslinker@iasp.org. Questions regarding the content can be sent to Diane, and she will go ahead and forward those questions to the question writer, and we will get as much feedback as we can. Thank you for listening to this short presentation on the format of the Science Bowl competition. Stay tuned, click on the next video, and you will have information on the content for this year's competition.